Hi, my name is Lincoln Holbrook, and I'm going to teach you today a whole new way of mastering the markets. And it's less about what you know or giving you a whole new strategy for maybe trading the markets, and it's more about who you are. What type of a trader are you? But before I can get into that, I have to let you know that everything I teach you is for educational and training purposes only. I'm not an advisor, legal or otherwise, and that anything that we do here is just for um, training purposes, though I do really want you to be a success in your trading. A little bit about me. I have been training people how to trade in the market since 1998. I was the first employee of InvestTools, and eventually I was able to travel over the world teaching people all over the world how to trade in the markets. Now, InvestTools had a specific method for trading, and we taught that trading strategy or that trading method. Since then, in 2013, I started my own trading company in which I traded other people's methods. Instead of InvestTools, I traded Chuck Hughes. I worked with John and Pete Najarian. I've worked with Charles Payne, Stephanie Kammerman, Don Fishback, a whole range of people, and they're experts and traders and working with their students to learn how to apply those systems. And I realized that there was a problem. Not everybody was able to take those simple systems and turn them into real, concrete, consistent success in the markets. And so I spent a lot of time and effort trying to figure out why. Why is that the case? What is it that makes it hard for people to actually have success? And what we found as part of that is that fear of loss overwhelms people's decision making. Sometimes they have great intentions for following a system. They spend big bucks on a system, and then they start trading the system until the first loss. And as soon as the first loss happens, they are so afraid of losing money that they can't really follow that system. They no longer trust it. And that's another problem. They either don't have or they don't trust their system. They don't have a trading plan. They don't have a process for verifying that their actual results are matching expected results. And because of that, they generally buy, then they hope, wish, and pray for a profit. you know, or the other thing they do is they do passive trading. It's kind of a set it and forget it strategy. They pay somebody else to do it for them. And even if they want to do it for themselves, as soon as they have a struggle, as soon as they have a loss, most people just kind of go back to what they were doing, because at least in their minds, they can't lose money, even though they obviously can. They have no way to form an expectation about what the results of their trading method should look like. And because they can't form an expectation about what it should look like, they have no way to confirm whether or not what it actually looks like matches what they expected it to look like. And that's the key that's missing. They just don't know how to match that. And finally, they have no consistent way to improve over time. The other problem that people have, in addition to the systemic problems that they're facing, is their trading temperament. Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's closest partner and right-hand man, has said some people with high IQs are terrible investors because they've got terrible temperaments. That is why we say that having a certain kind of temperament is more important than brains. The new way of trading that we're going to teach you today has to do with your trading temperament. What we've been able to discover over years and years of research, through my company, I spent several $100,000. We interviewed thousands of people. We did everything we knew to figure out what was the missing piece. And honestly, the missing piece has to do with finding what your trading temperament is, and then helping you understand what the statistical probabilities are for your trading temperament. If you have the right understanding of your trading temperament, then you know, or you can have an expectation for the size of gains compared to the sizes of your losses. You can know a base winning percentage, what your expected win rate should look like over time, and you should know how long your winning or losing streaks might be. This gives you guidance to help you understand what strategies will play to your strengths. and it will give you the power to reduce the negative decisions caused by fear and greed. Most people, when they trade, they focus on the outcome of the most recent trade. And then that outcome affects how they feel about their next trades, or it affects their ability to trade the next trade following the same process that got them into the last trade. Even if that was a winning trade, it's funny how frequently greed, a winning trade, can pull somebody out of their system because they didn't capture the very bottom and they didn't capture the very top. A lot of people will think they lost money. I've talked to lots of people who bought a stock at, say, 20, it ran to 30, and now it's trading at $25. They don't talk about the $5 that they gained, they talk about the $5 that they've lost. And then in their minds, what happens is they'll say, I can't lose money. Even though they have a profit, they'll say, I can't lose money, which leads to one of two results. The first result is it goes down, and eventually what was a profit has become a loss. The other thing that happens is it gets back up to $30, and they get out of it because they can't suffer a loss. And then what happens? It keeps running, and they miss out on the big gains that come after it gets back up. So that's a thing that we need to be aware of. And if you're focused on the outcome of the individual trade, then you will more likely make a bad decision in your trading. You won't be following a system. And the last missing piece is that very few systems, I've not seen a single system, and I've taught a lot of guru systems, but I've never seen one that says this is what you should expect to get. This is the percentage of rate of return. This is the losing streaks you should see. This is your size of your gains compared to the size of your losses with my system. And then it gives you no way to measure your actual results against those expectations. And that's what we're going to show you how to do. Over years of research and hundreds of thousands of dollars, we've identified 5 trading temperaments. We call them win frequent extreme. And it's kind of like the dragonfly, if you think about it as a hunter, or how well a hunter works. These dragonflies are able to capture about 90% of the prey that they hunt. Okay, they're really good at capturing their prey. And win frequent extreme players or investors, they love to capture the win. It's okay for them if the wins are small. They just want a lot of wins in a row. They don't like losses. They're so afraid of loss that they would rather win small amounts consistently. The next level, win frequent, they're kind of like Malamutes. They're good, they're pack hunters. So they're going to capture most of the time when they go after prey, they'll capture it. But there are times when they have some embarrassing losses. And that's where these people are willing to risk 1 to make 2. Okay. So they're willing to risk 2 to make 1. So they're going to win more frequently, not as frequently as the win frequent extreme people, but they are going to win more frequently. But the few losses that they get will be larger losses. The other one, just win, the next one, just win, they prefer to emphasize leveraged trading opportunities, and in exchange, they're willing to accept 50-50. They'll win about 50% of their trades. The win big style traders prefer to get larger sized wins, and they're willing to accept only win about a third of the time, 30% of the time. So they're okay with a larger number of losses. They want to keep those losses small so they don't get out of hand, but they like that big gain. They like having the big win. And then the win big extreme, they're kind of like polar bears. Polar bears only win about 1 out of every 10 hunts. And that's kind of what this is. They're going to win infrequently, but you'll have the largest possible gains based on the statistical probabilities that we teach. If you want to think about it this way, if I were to ask you if you were to flip a coin 100 times, how many times would it come up heads? How many times would it come up tails? Most of you will say it'll come up heads and tails approximately 50 times each. But we don't know if it's not going to come up 50 heads in a row or then 50 tails in a row. It's not going to come up a head, then a tail, then a head, then a tail, then a head, then a tail. It's going to come in streaks. And the same as it can happen in trading. You can set up your trading in the same way. When I first discovered this secret, I was so amazed. Remember, I've been teaching people how to trade for over 20 years. And I was so shocked at the simpleness of this process and this approach and the intuitive nature of and the power of this approach that I literally had to start a new company just so I didn't have any baggage from the old company to start getting the message out. That's how important this is. That's how fundamental it is. It was like a bolt of lightning just went through my body when this happened. And I wanted to share that with you. If you choose to engage with us, our curriculum will help you control your desired winning percentage. First of all, you can set it. Second of all, you can control it. Second, it will develop a trading process that you can trust, meaning you will have a process of input, research, evaluation, trading, right? Following that, and then being able to improve, right? You're tracking your results and improving. And it was all based on whether or not you're hitting the roadmap. We're going to tell you what you should win, the percentages you should win. If you're hitting that number or better, then you're doing great. If you're not hitting that number, then you know there's something wrong and you can immediately go in and fix what it is. And now you can start to develop edge. What is trading edge and how to gain a persistent trading edge through technical analysis, through when you're getting subscriptions from different financial publishers. Maybe you got an edge in terms of your knowledge about a particular industry. Maybe your edge is going to come from your research and your capability of researching the fundamentals. Maybe your edge is going to come from fast internet and good chart reading. There's all different kinds of ways to gain a persistent edge, and hundreds of gurus and books and techniques out there for you to learn from and to develop a persistent edge. But now you'll be able to measure, is it really a persistent edge? Does it really give you an edge? If you're expecting a 50% win rate, does this new technique give you a better than 50% win rate? Well, now you can measure it. And that allows you to, that power, the ability to say, here's what I expect to happen. And I know all the steps I have to take for that to happen. And I don't have to know any edge in order for that to happen. I don't have to do anything with my charts. I can just literally set my exits to get that. And I can match that with my actual results, or match my expected results with my actual results and see if there's a disconnect there. If there is, I can fix the things that I need to fix to make that change, or I can continue to work and gain more edge. This is a powerful program. I believe in it. I've been doing this for a long time. I've never seen anything like it, and I'm excited to share it with you.